My eyes don't work today. Hold on. Oh, it's only 11. So, folks, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to try and keep this one short. As you can see, I'm not in business clothes today. I actually had a doctor's visit and they drew blood and poked me and, the usual stuff, and then said, "You're a really good health for a guy your age. Have fun with that." And off I went. So, always a good thing to get good news at the doctor. I view my health kind of like I view taking care of your vehicles or anything else. You do your regular maintenance, get checked out every now and then, and you should be fine if you're not burning the candle at both ends or smoking crack. Red October, how are you, my friend? I may be in your neck of the woods in the next month. I think I'll reach out. I will bring an over under. We can go shoot. I had one of the worst shoots I've had in a while last Friday. So it was a breast cancer fundraiser. The whole organization raised about $500,000. But hey, so my team was the girls, the ladies I work with don't always get to go out and shoot. Some of them are pretty damn good shooters. So my team was all ladies. Hey, Tracy, except for me and the Marine buddy I shoot with. And we had the worst shoot ever. Like, our scores were terrible. The wind was everywhere. The 40-mile-an-hour gusts. The clays looked like TIE fighters. Hey, Ashley, in Star Wars, where they go, they're coming out broken. It was just an absolute shit show. And we had an absolute blast. It was hilarious. And then they fed us tacos, again, because that's apparently what we do out here. And somebody won a new backpack, like a 511. And they gave out all these goodies and whatnot. But yeah, we raised $500,000, 450 something thousand. About last night, I was going through it. Cars in the shop. You got it in the shop, Tracy? Good deal. No worry, Tracy. You're a person. You're entitled to freak out and feel bad if you're having a bad time. I mean, that's why I try to build community in my live streams, because people go through stuff. Sometimes you just need to vent, and sometimes you can't vent to your family because they're like, be quiet. And you need some ideas, right? And you got to throw an idea out there. So yeah, no, absolutely. No, I'm glad the vehicle's in the shop. Hopefully you get that figured out here shortly. But folks, I watched it was New York Prepper was live streaming the president. I think it was last night. Was it last night or night before? And I actually got to, we were watching a movie. I stopped the movie so we can listen to the live stream. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully not. We'll keep fingers crossed for you, hon. And again, I've said before, I try not to be partisan. I'm not particularly a fan of our current president at all. But I agreed with most of what he said. May not be done till like Monday or Tuesday. Well, it's better than not knowing. If it can get done relatively quickly, that'll be good. But I listened to the president. I don't disagree with him that we have a problem there. I don't disagree with him in, intelligent aid to these countries. I kind of am struggling because I thought he was going to talk about the Israeli issue, right? Which is getting very ugly very quickly. This is not Ukraine where you have two nations basically at war with one another. This is a nation and a regional power and a pseudo-state kind of having a very asymmetric war with each other. It's a very weird deal. And he started speaking about Israel and Palestine and how he's trying to calm everyone down, which is fine. That's what his job is. And knucklehead Blinken was already there. And all of a sudden we got into Ukraine again. Now, I understand we're dealing with two conflicts right now, but they're very different conflicts, right? Um, Hamas, to my knowledge, is not a nuclear power. Malt liquor or vodka. Are you eating or are you just drinking? Because if you're eating, I think the malt liquor in a mixer might be better with the meal. I don't know. I don't know what Joe's doing other than he has booze. But yeah, I would recommend maybe switch it up if you're eating. But you have this nation, this region, Palestine, that has been taken over by Hamas, and they the BB or A. No. Um, why these two subjects got so convoluted so quickly is a bit disturbing to me, because these are unrelated subjects, other than like Iran and Russia are kind of funding the other side, if you will. I was expecting more of an address updating the American people about the situation in Israel. Mind you, it's the same day, I believe, that the State Department is now putting out a international warning to U.S. citizens. So basically, not just overseas, anywhere, a worldwide warning that terrorists may be pissed at us. Imagine that. I really didn't get that. There was a lot of talk about the other war. And I don't feel like I got a lot of clarity, other than Hamas went and kicked Israel out of their chair, and now Israel is beating the shit out of the Palestinians, and we're going to send them money, but we're sending both sides money. I only have one child, and he's 22. No kids to carry family name. Oh no. Sit awake and watch the sun crest in the rocket. Well, Joe, maybe you find I'm praying no draft. No. Yeah, a draft would be very unpopular and very bad. And if it's a NATO issue, which these two will be, and I think that's something a lot of people don't understand, is Vietnam was not a NATO war. It was kind of a conflict, but it was the US, Britain, the Aussies. It was a very limited conflict. And what we are seeing, if NATO gets into, if Russia goes and beats up the Baltics, which are NATO members, that's going to be a war. Where are you going to go if you're going to run away from the draft, right? No, Dan, that's exactly it. Or they really don't know what they're doing, which I would believe too. They're not sure what to do, so they're just saying shit. But it's not helping us, and it's not giving us clarity. I was hoping to hear something that I could then say, okay, this is what's going on, and, you know, I should do this particular direction. But I didn't. If there is a draft, should that happen, yeah, you're not going to be able to go to Canada. That's correct, Tracy. They will call, hey, Vision, they will call what they call IRR, which is inactive ready reserve. So after you leave the military, you have 4 years where they can call you back, assuming you're under a certain age. Joe, there may be ways around that. Ooh, that scared the hell out of me. I don't even know who that person was. I love when I get a call from someone who I've never heard. Hey, Jetmec. Hold on, there's a draft. I lost something there. Hey, Redleg, what's going on? But we are in it. Yeah, I agree with what Texas Redleg is saying. We're tied into multiple conflicts. Maybe 8 years. I thought it was 4. I might be wrong. That was Potato Joe calling you. It might have been, but it didn't have 666 on the number. It was actually some, I don't know where the hell, Florida. I don't know anyone in Florida, so at least no one I want to talk to in Florida. But I really didn't get a sense that our leaders know what they're doing. And again, I'm concerned about the fact that we're giving aid money. I heard this morning on a news report on the radio that we are now training Ukrainian pilots to use the F-15 Strike Eagle, and that we have surplus Strike Eagles probably in that boneyard over in Arizona that we're going to put back together and give to them. And that's going to be a big game changer, because the F-16 will go head-to-head with most of the Russian fighters and hold its own. And the Ukrainians actually have decent pilots. So is that something that might tip the balance a certain way? We don't know, right? They're calling me about, wait, my car warranty. They might be, God. They might be calling me that I've said the incorrect words and I'm going to go to the gulag with Joe. Joe, are you still in the gulag, by the way? Joe got put in YouTube jail. What's funny, he's been trying to do that for about a month, and he finally got put in jail for something really silly. And I talk about child trafficking, and I get put in Instagram jail within 10 minutes for 2 weeks. It's like, that's not cool. Calls I get from Florida, Comcast upgrade. Well, it wasn't even your video that did it. You got canned on another location. That's awesome. But my concern is, our leaders listening to Biden? I don't disagree. We should support Israel, fine. And we should try not to kill a bunch of civilians. I get it. Yeah, we support Ukraine because Russia's not our friend. But I don't get a feeling our leaders know what the hell they're doing. Like, I wonder if they sit down every morning, do their morning briefing, and go, hey, so what do we do now? And I don't know, was it just me? I mean, put one if you were completely unimpressed with the president's speech the other night. Put two if you liked it. I'm curious to see what you guys saw. I'm going to celebrate my strike. We'll bring some groceries or bring some drinks, and she can do the cooking. Hey, KP. Yeah, Tracy, no worries. We're all thinking and rooting for you. Yeah, that's the point, Vision. So I saw the speech because New York Prepper, NY Prepper, live streamed it through his channel, and then he did a commentary, and it was really not impressive. 3, didn't waste my time. Yeah, well, Dan, I thought maybe since they're sending billions and upon billions of our dollars to other countries, instead of housing our damn homeless vets out here, or processing immigrants correctly into the country so we don't have a bunch of Al-Qaedas coming in, I thought he'd at least have a justification for it, and it was a lot of hoorah. And I wasn't very impressed. I think, okay, NY Prepper's commentary was more useful to me than, and then I threw up. Yeah, you start drinking or getting nauseous because it's like, it just was it was one of the weirdest presidential speeches I've seen. And Trump had some zingers, right? He had that smart mouth. But doggone, even Trump had some good ones. And this was just, there was no message here. It was really unimpressive. I was kind of sad. I was like, wow. I don't know if this guy even knows what he's doing here. Personally, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And to me, it's concerning because if our enemies, our foes, our competitors overseas see this, they'll be like, y'all are being led by dumbasses, which we already know. All of us know this. Oatmeal brain. He does have oatmeal brain. Danny, better chance of Pamela Anderson giving me a lap dance than that happening. Dude, if Pamela Anderson gives you a lap dance, you have to live stream that. Poor Pamela Anderson, she's gone through so much shit. Everyone thought she was this little bimbo, actually. And then there was an interview with all the stuff that she went through. I was like, you did not have an easy life, young lady. You clearly have made bad decisions. Hey, Farmer, what's going on? So folks, right now, it's kind of status quo. And to me, that's frustrating because we need to put our finances into other things like our damn infrastructure. We just had a railroad trestle collapse on a highway in New Mexico. There's rumors it was terrorism. I've seen the photos, and that just looks like a structural failure, but I could be wrong. We have issues here. We have kids who cannot pass math. Remember long division, the way math has been done for like 100 years in this country? No. Now they do matrix division and confuse the shit out of the parents who are wondering what the hell is this. And if your kid does long division the way it's supposed to be done, they get marked wrong. Thank you, Winning Streak. I just don't get it. It's just, I'm really unimpressed with the message. The message was very generic. Yeah, we're going to help Israel. Well, okay, what the hell's going on there? I mean, we have 2 carrier groups. We didn't even move 2 aircraft carrier groups for Ukraine. We moved 2 for Israel. Why? And the first thing that happened, so I called another YouTuber who is retired Navy. Y'all may have seen him, Hayes Gray Prepper. And he said his one of his destroyers in his group came under fire, same area, back in 2016, 2017. It was a while ago. And he said they did the same thing. They fired a bunch of missiles at one of the destroyers. They got him shot down. And then the Navy figured out where the launcher was and shelled the shit out of the launcher so they wouldn't do that again. And then they stopped. I don't know if we've shelled anything. I know drones were involved. They've attacked American bases in Iraq. It almost feels like there's a bunch of little things happening all at once with the intent of popping something bigger off. So I don't know. Where are you going, dude? You're stopping in the middle of the road. I love when people stop in the middle of the highway for no absolute reason. And he's got a flatbed. He's going to make a mess here. Stupid guy. And once again, I forgot to order my... more money heading to Ukraine and Israel. 60 billion this time, right? Because we don't need to rebuild our... Hey, off the wall, thank you. We're just talking about the Navy, how the Houthis fired off some rockets at one of our destroyers. I don't know if it was the Cole or the Russell, back in 16, 17. I think Dad's got road rage. No, it's just pendejadas. Like, the guy just stops, and we're all like, or are you going to turn? Because he has a trailer. I'm like, well, maybe he's got to turn. He's trying to, like, figure out how to do it. And then he starts again. It's like, you're going to cause an accident, knucklehead. Hey, I'll let someone else run into him. But yeah, folks, all I can say, we've effectively, with our support of Israel, even though we're helping the Palestinians in theory, we've effectively pissed off a lot of elements. And I think that worries me more than the war itself, because we don't know who the hell's in the country. No, Tracy, you're right. They're probably in Hawaii. Yeah, we did. We pissed everyone off. So, you know, they had the protest in the Capitol with the pro-Palestinian group. And surprisingly, they actually arrested them too, because I was expecting them to get a pass, so they didn't. They arrested their asses too, supposedly. It just, to me, if this gets more kinetic outside of those specific areas, right? Yeah, no, get back at it, off the wall. Thank you for joining me. If it gets more kinetic, I don't think it's going to be in Israel or that area. I don't think it'll be in Ukraine. It'll be somewhere else. I fear the next incident will be within Western borders somewhere. Yeah, you guys, exactly. it will be something or someone already here that will execute something. And I could see that being used as an excuse to shut down social media, to impose curfews, to restrict Second Amendment rights. You know, I could see that going a lot of different ways, ways that I'm not a fan of. I think it's essential we watch the home front in the next coming weeks. Because honestly, anything that at this point, the way the world is, anything, thank you for popping in. Yes, we got to talking. He said, I'll give you a box and help you instead of a cash tip. All right, later, Winning Street. Take care. Right, and Vision, you're spot on, Trent. What we've got going on in the country worries me a lot more. When I have, like I said a few weeks ago, I have my Cuban immigrant Uber driver who's like so excited to be in this country going, you're letting the bad people in. Your president is stupid. And I got this whole like discussion getting to a bar to meet business partners, right? Which was comical because it gave me something to talk about at the bar. It's like the new citizens get it. They see what's happening and they're like, wow, you guys are doing it wrong. This is what happened in my country, and now it's here. And sadly, I don't think our leaders understand this. And no, they've been after us for a while. Where about is the potato giving away so much money, tons of money? Yes, so just a few notes as far as supply, and thanks for bringing that up. As far as supply, so I forgot what it is, Clear Lake Armory or Lake Arm, one of the armories that builds munitions has shut off all its civilian lines and is doing purely military contract stuff because the military needs to restock. Yeah, no, Vision, that would be a great idea. Sometime next week would be a good idea. Yeah. Well, they'll care when they blow up a bunch of shit here. And that's the problem. I think thank you, Lake City Armory. Dan, you're a hero. You're going to see shortages of stuff. When I went to Academy the other night, I was looking for a hoodie. I should be able to do that. Shoot me an email. Yeah, this weekend is garbage. I actually had the boss was like, yeah, you're going to go to a fundraiser this weekend, which is fun, but I was like, shit, okay. So, yeah, that's screwed up. Next Thursday, we could do that for sure. We really need to start looking at what's in our borders and start to understand what the areas are, what's going to come up short. Because it's been since what, the 1940s, since the U.S. has been on a wartime footing, like a real wartime footing. And I almost get the feeling that the companies, the industries are getting to that point. We're already in a supply chain issue. Now we're sending stuff to Israel. We're sending stuff to Ukraine. We're giving money to the Palestinian people, allegedly. There's a lot of moving parts. We have Turkey threatening Israel, which is really bad because that's a freaking NATO country threatening one of our biggest allies in the Middle East. This is what happened before World War I. Yikes. That got expensive quick. This has happened before World War I, where the Serbians were arguing with the Austrians about a certain border area, and then everyone's arguing with everyone else. Hey, prepper check. Yeah, so when I went to Academy, I was looking for a hoodie, and that's where I was going with that. There was a young guy, I would say younger than me, maybe 30. Him and his wife had their little Academy shopping cart, you know, those undersized carts, and he had, I guess, would you call them a brick? He had 2 or 3 bricks of 5.56, and then she was like, we need some shotgun. They were going after the number 4 shot and the buckshot. And she's like, well, we'll use it on the ranch anyway. I was kind of listening into it, their conversation. And then I saw another lady come in business attire, and she left with, I guess, a case of 380. And so, hey, Virginia, what's going on? So there's a lot of things going on, but they're very subtle. And I think it's kind of the boiling a frog in a pot. You don't put him in the hot water, he's going to jump out. You boil in the cold water, and then you heat up the water until he boils. It's almost feeling like that, where you're seeing lack of tires, lack of auto parts. Even the auto companies are not making replacement parts. Hey, Ark, for a lot of their vehicles that are out there on the road. Maybe spears or arrows. Yeah, I mean, that would be something on my bucket list to learn is, archery. Not something, I used to do a little bit of it when I was younger. That'd be something great to do now. So, folks, keep an eye on the home front. I think going forward, I didn't really get a valuable message from the president the other night. I think he was trying to make his argument for what he's doing, and that's fine. I did not disagree with helping our allies, but it almost seems like there's no plan. Yeah, get your freedom seeds and your pews as you can. I'm gonna go, there's a gun show out here this weekend, so I hit the farmers market and then the gun show. But yeah, now's a good time. Like I said on my last live, when we cook meals now, we cook 3 meals, we eat 1 serving that night, and then we're freezing, the chili, we're freezing the beef stew, whatever it is we're making, we're freezing it. We're on the fence about a freeze dryer. That's kind of an expensive buy, so we're trying to figure out if there's a budget for that. Because I'd love to be able to make like a bunch of chili and then freeze dry it and stick it in a Mylar bag, right? That's like basically an MRE. There's a lot going on, and we're going to start seeing those shortages, not just the ammo. We've already seen certain food. Vision, yeah, that would be a great buy, but they're not cheap. And I also, if I'm going to spend that much, I've heard there's a difference between the ones that use oil, some don't. They're different versions. And I want to be sure that we're getting the best one for the buck. Because I'm not going to do it as a business. I guess at some point I could, but I would be more for personal use. Because again, I'm going to have a grandbaby here in Texas soon, right? She's going to be arriving with my son and daughter-in-law in another city. So, right. So being able to freeze dry food products are not just for me, but for them as well. To have on hand, length of a cane. Actually, that's a brilliant idea. I know one company called Hate Stick. That's actually the name, Hate Stick. Make shillelaghs and maces, like battle maces, out of oak and leather. Like it looks some medieval shit. I was gonna buy one, and the one I was looking at was like $700, and I'm like, I'll just get a bat and wrap barbed wire on it and call it Lucille. Like, what the hell? Get communications with them. Yeah, and my neighborhood has a watch group. You need a baby bunker. No kidding. Yeah, and my grandbaby's going to be sleeping in a military base a lot. So, yeah, I don't know what accommodations they have for... Basically, I'm now the bug out location. Let's put it like that, for that part of the family. And if that happens... Now, the good thing is my daughter-in-law's mom is a homesteader in another state. And she's got a few acres and some chickens and whatnot. So mother-in-law and I have already been in touch. And now we're like, okay, if something pops off, because she thinks like us, where do we go? Not the Hulk. It is efficient, but a little easier to handle. I'm not a big person, and PT for my shoulder and leg. No glue factory yet. Hey, Dana. Well, JetMec, there's some places I've seen where you can split it, and it's zero interest as long as you pay on time. It's like you pay every 2 weeks or something, like a Klarna or not Spotify, some other thing. There are ways to do it. If you're going to do it on a credit card, if you're not going to go cash, hey, my mother Spark, I would definitely try to pay it down quicker because you typically have a higher interest rate on a credit card. If you can split it, hey, Marco, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, the freeze dryer. But guys, get the house in order, as Vision pointed out. Make sure you have the food. Like I said, we're kind of rethinking stuff because we're going to have grandchildren nearby, and if something pops off, daughter-in-law may want to clear the army base and go to a non-army area while things happen. So yeah, I'm now thinking not just the household, I'm thinking extended family. And I know a few of you are in the same boat. You're like, I have my mom lives nearby or my brother lives nearby. So get your home front settled. Virginia, yes. I did the whole math thing on my mortgage company's website to see if a refinance made any sense. Even with my credit, which is really good, my lowest I could get it was like 7%. I'm like, so then they called me. They're like, we noticed you were using the online calculator. Were you going to refinance? No. Why would I do that? The payments go up, the loan goes up, the interest rate goes up. Like, nothing was good about that. It's not like, oh, I can refinance and my payment drops by a bunch, or I can refinance for a smaller amount, or I get a better interest rate. No, all of it sucked. And the lady laughed. She's like, yeah. She said, and I asked her, I said, are people doing this for home equity? And she said, that's mainly what people are doing. She said, my desk or my group has been getting hit a lot with people taking out home equity loans. They're doing a refi and taking the equity out as a separate loan to pay for something else. And that's dangerous, because if you do that now and you don't pay back that equity loan, so now you have your mortgage and your equity loan, your house is on the hook. Whereas if you're homestead in Texas, you can't, they can't take your home unless you fail to pay mortgage or you don't pay your taxes. The bank can come after me. If I don't pay my car, they can take my car. They can't take. Yeah, see, JetMec, that makes no sense. You're going to go from 175 to an 8. That's insane. It's going to triple your payment. Yeah, it won't make sense at all. So, folks, do your numbers, do your homework before you make big purchases. Vision and I apparently are thinking alike. I know my mother Spark's been looking at some new gear. Do your homework. Make sure it makes sense, and you want to minimize the risk of increasing debt, increasing loans, anything like that, folks. But I think the way the president was talking when we were done, Sassy looks at me and goes, you know what I took from that speech? And I said, what do you think? And she said, we're going to war in the next 6 months. And we have one son in the Army, one just got out. They're both eligible for recall. Hell, if it gets bad enough, I'll get recalled. My brother will get recalled. It'll get ugly. The old guys like me wind up at home defense and whatnot, but still, I didn't get the warm and fuzzies from the president's speech. I get where he's going. I support that he's trying to help our allies, but it doesn't seem like anyone's steering the apple cart. It seemed really vague. It was a lot of promises being made, and yeah, it's just feed your double barrel. Prepper Chick Dana wants to know what you feed her. Okay, my over-under, if I'm shooting skeet, I use bird shot. I use 7-shot with a skeet choke, or what's the other one, improved cylinder. If I'm going to the field and there may be pigs, For the over-under, I'll pop the chokes out. I'll go with either a cylinder or a full choke. And I will either use buckshot or I will use number 4 shot. I'm kind of a fan of 4 shot because it's kind of in between. It gives you the number of pellets in your favor, but they're bigger pellets because the bird shot's really itty bitty. If you hit a pig or someone up close, like if you're inside your home and I fire a bird shot from the master bedroom to the front door, I will absolutely jack someone up because it's like getting hit with 100 BBs all at once that are moving really fast. I'm using a 12 gauge. I have a 20 Sassy likes to use. And I have a tactical shotgun, a pump, the Mossberg 500 with the whistles on it. And that one, I'll roll 12 through it. One of my buddies tried to use the short 12 gauge shells, the little shorties. And he said in certain shotguns, it jammed them up and they get hung up. So, well, Dan, my concern is over penetration. I don't want to fire the flechettes and they go through a window, just the way my house is laid out, and I hit my neighbors out there. Hey, big chap, welcome. Kevin, hello. Prepper Chick, hello. I had a few people sneak in on me here. Hey, skydive. But yeah, folks, I listened to, thanks for pointing that out, my mother Spark. Yeah, some of them are getting hidden and I'm on my phone. I can't see everything. If it gets hidden for review, it's just a little line of gibberish. I can't read it. Yeah, Virginia, I have so many shells left over from so for instance, the last clay shoot, we had 2 20 gauge shooters and 4 shooting 12, right? So the big case is 250. So to cover everyone, okay. And it may have been hidden automatically. But yeah. But we didn't shoot all of that. So I gave 100 shells to one of my business colleagues because she shoots an over under 20. And I wound up with like 200 12 gauge birdshot, which again, I'll smoke a clay, like literally turn it to dust 20, 30 yards. So if within 20 yards, I hit it by mistake. I was trying to show it and chat rolled it. Yeah, and I can't do it because when it shows up on my phone, it's just all gibberish. It's like all the 3 lines where it says the comment and then this is for review, approve or don't approve. They're like that all together on my screen. I can't, if I click it, it's just gonna, like, I'll block someone by accident. I've actually done that to somebody by unintentionally block them, trying to allow their view. So yeah, I have a bunch of 12 gauge. I know I have 3 shot pew-pews. But 12, if you're just buying your first firearm, I always tell new shooters, unless they absolutely need a handgun, to start with the start with the shotgun, and then teach them skills with something that they have 2 hands on, and then you move to a smaller firearm. I found when I start a new shooter with a small firearm and go the other way, they struggle more. And honestly, I like seeing a long barrel with a new shooter, because if they start going the other way, I'll grab the barrel. I don't care if they burn my hand with it. Where a pistol, you can just do that, and now I'm pointing 90 degrees. Whereas a rifle, shotgun, as I say, I'm going to see that barrel move because it's longer. I'm going to grab that barrel. But in any case, folks, if you need shells, you need supplies, budget it in, make your rounds, start getting it now. It depends on the scenario, Prepper Chick. If I'm inside my house, the shotgun will do a great job. If I got a little more open space, I've used the M4s enough that I can use either or as a close range rifle. If you have family in the house, you may want to consider the shotgun over the AR so you don't fire, you miss, it goes through the sheetrock and hits someone. That's where the birdshot comes in handy, because you'll spray a whole area with pellets, and typically it'll get stopped by the sheetrock, but it will screw up whoever you hit. It'll just chew them up at the surface, and usually they'll go into shock. I've actually seen video footage of a guy broke in and got hit by birdshot by a mom at home with a single shot shotgun, like the old style, like country shotgun, and she popped this dude. Down he went. He passed away on the way to the hospital. The guy was like the ex-boyfriend trying to attack the wife or the girl, and she had that single freaking shotgun, like a musket. She just waited there till he got through the window, and she had a good sight picture. And as soon as his feet hit the ground inside the house, she pulled the trigger and down he went. So it is effective at close range. You know, again, I'll shoot a clay, like a skeet clay can be up to this big. 20 yards out, I'll turn them to dust with birdshot. So it is effective. Hunting like a pig, where they have thick skin and fat skulls, you're going to need 4-shot, buckshot, maybe a slug for bigger animals. But yeah, what I would do, I'd recommend, if a prepper chick, go to look up some of the skeet shooting or sporting clays websites, and some of them have charts where they show the distance and the size of the funnel of different types of shot, and it'll give you a good guideline as to, well, if I'm going to shoot, say, from the master bedroom, like the family comes to the master bedroom and the alien or the chupacabra is 20 feet away in the front door, what's the best shell for that? And it'll say, you know, your cone will be this big at X feet, right? Because think about it, it comes out like a cone. That'll give you a really good guideline as to what kind of shells you may want for your home, your situation. Now, if you have acreage, you may want to go with the buckshot, because you can throw those, you know, 100 yards out, I believe, 75 for sure. Dan Gross. Wait, what happened? Somebody's being gross. Hey, Independent. You could do a slug with 4-shot in it. That would certainly get the job done. Hey, Wolf. So Dana, yeah, if you actually, a lot of sporting clays clubs may do courses on shotgunning. And you can probably sign up for a course even if you don't own a shotgun. You may have to pay a fee for the event, and they'll teach you how to shoot sporting clays, but you kind of get familiar with firing a shotgun. Watchman, I have no idea where the money's going. That's how this whole conversation started, is wolf whistles. Black Magic Magnum 12 gauge. No, that would do it. 12 gauge Magnum. Good Lord. Yeah. But again, you also got to factor in, if you have other family members, you don't want to use something that's going to go through the walls, like a sabot round, go through and hit a family member. So do a little homework. If you want to email me, I can try and find some of those websites. I use over-under so much. I have one of mine, I can open it with one hand. You know, this is a 28-inch barrel, double barrel. I can pop it open with one hand. The shells come out. I can reload, and it's quick. I can do it in about a second and a half. I have 2 more shells in there. Because when we do flurry shoots, you're just shooting fast. But again, I've had that shotgun for 12 years. I've probably put about 8,000 shots through it. So it's got a lot of use. Again, folks, do your homework. With companies being assigned military contracts like the Lake City Armory, they're now only making military contract ammo. You're gonna see less product on the market. We haven't seen it in food or other stuff, but that typically will come. And again, as I said, thank you, Vision. Like I said, when we were done listening to the president the other day, and again, I want to credit New York Prepper, NY Prepper, because he's the one who live streamed it. on his channel. Uh, when we were done listening, my wife looked at me and goes, "What I took from that was we're gonna wind up in a war in 6 months." And she wasn't wrong. I played it back later on that night and I listened again. And it's like we're sitting there saying we're sending money, but we're protecting. We will support. We will back up. We will not abandon. And it could have been a lot of geopolitical puffery, but yeah, it could be more. So folks, make your homes ready as best you can. Don't panic spend. Now's not a time. Now you want the biggest bang for the buck. No pun intended with the shotgun discussion. The biggest bang for your buck. Yeah, KP, absolutely. If you're going to spend $10, make sure you've got the best value for those $10 you can. Needed breakfast, been working since 4 a.m. Yeah, Joe's been busy today. If you can buy ammo, and again, that's another thing. Okay, Vision, that's another thing. It may not, Christy, it may not. It may be sooner. My fear is during the holidays, right? They like to attack holidays, Sundays, Sabbath. You know, that you get into the Thanksgiving, people at Rockefeller Center in Manhattan, you know, looking at the ice skaters, stuff like that. They had a massive rally. It was in New York, the pro-Israel rally, which they took up the whole street. Now think about that. Those two groups, the pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli, suddenly getting into it in the street. Hey, Papas, getting into it. You know how hard that would be for law enforcement, the feds? Even with all the tech, it would be so hard to control that if you have two sides like that fighting with each other in the streets. Drunk Joe hasn't been out for his room for a week. So folks, take the time, go through your preps. That's something you can do for absolutely free. Go through your canned goods, pick something. Canned goods, pastas, grains, whatever you're doing. Pick that subject, write it down so you have discipline in your list. Write down what you need, then go to the store. Don't go to the store first, buy things you think you need, and then come back and have too much stuff. Take the time to go through systemically what you have, pick a subject, and then go from there. Don't buy panic. Don't buy willy-nilly. Hey, Kevin, I didn't see you in there. Maximize your money. Maximize your dollars, folks. Now's a good time. Get your house calmly in order. Because if things escalate, we'll have plenty of panic later on. We'll have plenty of worries later on. But again, when I hear guys, people I really respect, right? So, I mean, all my mods are phenomenal creators. And if you don't follow them, please do. But, you know, like The Angry Prepper, Crisis Reporters, Prepper Now, NY Prepper, Cat Skills, you know, and even, you know, Vision, My Mother, Spark, all the folks in the chat right now, Wolfang, and everyone is now saying, hey, this is not bueno. The more we dig into it, the worse it looks to all of us. It's not just, you know, one guy over here going, oh, we're gonna die. Oh, like the guy who looks like he's on meth all the time. What's his name? Survival Spectrum. That he always looks like he's snorted cocaine before he took his self-picture. Oh, wait. Oh, I should do a video on that. Just kidding. I'm not a douche. I have no idea. China balloons pop down. Plus hot sauce. I lost track. It's the doper. I have no idea what Joe's talking about the dope and the doper. Hot sauce is good, yeah. Joe, you lost me, man. I missed a few of your comments. They zipped by, and now I'm lost. I just said something about dope and hot sauce. So, which makes no sense to me at all. You have to give me context later. Uh, well, yeah, and in the same context, who's funding everything, right? So, thank you, my mother Spark, full spectrum survival. Yeah, normally when you have those channels that always panic people, but now everyone's seeing it, that's kind of worries me a bit. I don't think mainstream media wants to talk about it because they'd have to admit certain things that I don't think they're ready to admit. So, but folks, look, be good, be careful out there. This weekend would be a great weekend unless you have other commitments. Pick a prep. I'll say that every week. Pick a prep, whatever it is. Got to get ammo, clean your guns, get the oil change done, anything you say, anything you think you may have to do, and get it done. Pick a subject so it kind of puts you in a box so you're not overspending money, you're not freaking yourself out. If it's canned goods, do that. Inventory, pull out old stock, put new stock in, and done. And let it go. And pick a new prep the next day. Don't get consumed by this because we all got to live our lives. But don't get behind the curve either. This shit's squirrely and it bothers me. And that speech gave me no comfort today. So look, folks, be safe out there. And Joe wasn't Dio. Virginia, I might change. Like I said, I went to the doctor's office. I did my annual physical. They're like, you're not dead. Congratulations. Actually, I'm in really good health for a guy my age. I might go to the tactical base down on the south side of town and rock some drills and see if the weather holds. If I start getting rained on, I'm not that motivated. So in any case, guys, be safe, be careful, and do the best you can with what you have handy. And remember, do your homework if you're going to travel. Do your homework about your destination and your routes before you leave. You don't want to do what happened in Dallas. People were coming out of business meetings into a protest, right? That's like the worst case scenario for guys like me because they didn't do their homework, all right? God bless. Be safe. Don't forget to sub all the mods. I got great mods in here. Thank you, mods, and thank you, everyone. You guys, we got this, but we got to be disciplined and systemic. When it never rains out here, what we get is windy shit. And then, well, no, but then you get mud. Then you get rattlesnakes, too. I wonder if I shoot the rattlesnake, will I get in trouble at the range? See, Dan, now you got me thinking. Should go shoot a rattlesnake, see what happens. Anyway, you guys be good, be safe out there. And take your time. And again, the mods, most of them are creators. They have emails. Virginia Bushcrafter has a channel. There are a bunch of good channels in here. Email another creator if you have a question. If we don't know, like you email me, and I don't know, I'm going to ask Trent, I'm going to ask my mother Spark, I'm going to ask Marco. I might throw the email to other people and be like, hey, I got a question here. I don't know how to answer this. You know, somebody will try to help you. While we still have our little virtual community, let's keep it up. You guys be safe.